Well, today we're going to be continuing a little bit of what we were talking about on our last episode with a new discovery. That new discovery I covered in that episode to its fullest extent, but I will just quickly mention the discovery involved this adapter, which is made by a member at Atari Age, whose name is Bahoki, and he makes the PC to Atari 5200 adapter. This is the standard version. This one is called the Atari Free version, and this has actually a keypad attached to it. So you can watch that episode and have that explained a little bit. But these allow PC 15-pin controllers to be utilized on the 5200. And when you combine one of these with a special adapter that I had discovered actually works with the 5200 when combined with that. This is called the Emulator Smart Joy adapter for use with the PlayStation controllers and N64 controllers. And what it does is it allows those controllers to be used on a PC with the 15-pin connector. So anyway, again, combining it with this, everything works on the 5200. Well, many controllers do. Some of the third-party controllers don't, whether they be PS2 controllers or N64. Some work, some don't. Have had great compatibility, though, with the original PlayStation, either dual analog gamepad or the Dual Shock. The original DualShock, and I even got DualShock 2s working as well, and also a couple of PS2 controllers that I touched on in our last video. And the N64 controller works fine too, at least the standard one made by Nintendo does. Some of the third-party ones don't work. All right, so that's really all I need to say about that. Now, when I first discovered this, it came to my mind that, wow, wouldn't it be interesting if I could get some PlayStation 2 adapters for mice and keyboards to work through these adapters. There's a few companies that make these adapters. This one I have is called the Smart Joy Frag. This one's for the original Xbox. This one, if you plug in through an original Xbox to PS2 controller adapter, can be put into, plugged all together into the 5200 through all these adapters. But unfortunately, it doesn't work. It's not compatible. I'll mention here, these often will have these PS/2 connectors, okay? 1990s mice and 1990s keyboards had those. Even in the early 2000s, that was popular. Nowadays, we just use USB for the most part. But anyway, you'd have to use an old school, laptop, old school keyboard or an old school mouse with this. Anyway, didn't work. So I went and made a purchase called the Max Shooter. This one's for the PlayStation 2, so you don't need to really put this into use with the XP Joy Box. Well, at least I didn't think you did initially. I plugged it straight up to these other adapters I had mentioned on our last episode, and unfortunately got nothing to work. So then I thought, well, why don't we try connecting it to a PlayStation 2 original Xbox controller adapter and then unconvert it by plugging in a original Xbox to PlayStation 2 controller adapter, which, by the way, one of those happens to be quite hard to find. That's called the XP Joy Box. Anyway, I had one, so I thought, well, let's do that, and we'll plug all that stuff together, and it didn't work. So then I thought, well, maybe I could try plugging a USB hub up to the mouse side of this. And again, this uses these PS/2. And, a USB hub, you have to use these little mini adapters that turn PS/2 into USB or vice versa. Anyway, when you do it on the mouse side of this, boom, the mice don't work, the trackballs don't work, but what's interesting is the keyboard becomes active. And so you've got your fire button here, you got up, down, left, right. For digital games, Pac-Man, Dig Dug, those kind of games, it works. And of course, who really wants to play your Atari 5200 with a keyboard? I want to use a joystick. Anyway, if you want to know how to do this with a little bit more detail, I'll put some information on how to do it in the description. I'm going to move on. All right, so in essence, yeah, this isn't real compatible for mice, keyboard, trackball, or for mice and trackballs, just keyboard. And I also bought this Max Shooter for Xbox, and again, I tried finagling with, you know, a variety of different ways of doing it. I got the same result as I got with the other Max shooters. So anyway, there you are. So I'm moving forward. I found something in Europe through a European eBay seller who was willing to ship to the US for actually a pretty nice amount of money. I didn't have to spend too much money to get this. And this is called the SpeedLink Redeemer Beyond Total Control. And this actually is PlayStation 2 compatible. Now, you know, when you're thinking, okay, well, you're just going to run into the same situation, aren't you? I probably will. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. So, I mean, it's, I actually have it all in the box, but I've opened this once to read the manual and then I taped it shut. But the manual, see what's important here, all these other controller adapters, they utilize the right thumbstick of your PlayStation controller to map the mouse. That's called a move and look. And these allow you to, with your keyboard, press a couple keys at the same time and swap the move and look. In other words, you can swap the move over to the left analog stick to do a left analog stick action. And that's going to be necessary for this to be utilized, because this is using left analog stick, not right. So I was worried when I first got this, does that even have that swap the move and look capability? Sure enough, I look in the manual and it does have that. It's done quite a bit differently than these other three adapters that were US made adapters. This one uses pressing the escape button and page up to swap them. So anyway, when I read the manual, I was quite pleased to see that you can do that. So, you know, not only do we want to get maybe some trackballs working to play games like Star Wars Arcade, which you normally can't play on the 5200 with any kind of trackball, but this would be an analog device. This is a PS/2 connector controller. So this is also a PC trackball. It has a really good spin. It's even better than the Belkin. By the way, the Belkin is called the Trackmaster. So this would be great if the USB connection will get this working. So another thing, if you want to play Missile Command, this thought came to me, why not try a mouse on a mouse pad, you know, play Missile Command the easy way. So that could be fun. Another thing that came to me was, well, in one of my past Wired Up retros, I made a fidget spinner mod of a mouse, and this is actually quite easy to make. Take a look in the description. I'll put a link to our last or to this video where I made the fidget spinner mod. This may get us working games like Breakout, Super Breakout, or even Tempest, which I don't yet have, but I know some of you Atari Age fans have that game. And if you can get a spinner working in an analog fashion on the 5200 itself, you might actually have a very close to real arcade experience. So we'll see. Okay, let's head over to the TV and we'll see how it goes with some of these keyboards and mice and trackballs. All right, so let's turn on the console and see what happens. We got Star Wars Arcade. The emulator Smart Joy adapter has lit up. So there's a little red light on that. These are the PS/2 connectors for this particular model of Logitech trackball. And then our keyboard at this moment is not lighting up. So I'm going to go ahead and press escape and page up, which should put it into left analog stick mode. And we'll just tap the Bohoki reset. And here we go. Doesn't look good so far. Okay, so we have no cursor even on the screen. Okay, we'll try another attempt with another controller. Okay, so we're going to turn on the system. We'll see if everything's hooked up, if we get any positive responses. I'm going to go ahead and look here at the... Okay, we now have it in, it's turned on. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the left stick mode, which is page up, escape page up. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the game. All right, here we go. Okay, so it's a no-go. We got ourselves no compatibility. Must be, our keyboard's not even lit up. There are no lights on that. So let me trade out the keyboard. Okay, so now we have a Packard Bell keyboard. Let's give that a try. Escape, page up, and start the game. Okay, again, same thing we got going on as we did before. Okay, escape page down, nothing. Okay. So now we've got the USB products all hooked up. The Kensington mouse. That one's called the Orbit Optical trackball. All right, so not a good sign when the cursor drops to the lower left, because that's what it was doing before. Again, we're not getting any keyboard lights, not a good sign either. So I'm going to press escape, page up, switch it over to the left thumbstick. All right, here we go. Okay, so yeah, we're seeing here the keyboard not lighting up. So I think we're going to have to get a USB power supply involved here. All right, so now we have the USB hub and the power supply is all hooked up to it. Notice the cursor is now in the middle. That's a good sign. We're going to press escape and page up. And setting it on the left side, we'll go ahead and start the game. Interesting. Well, all right. So I'll now switch the keyboard and the mouse in the different ports. All right, now instead of having the mouse plugged into the powered up hub, I've got the keyboard plugged in. Okay, again, good sign it's in the middle. And we're going page up and then start it up. Interesting. All right, again, we're not seeing any lights on the keyboard, so yeah, that's a little surprising actually that we didn't get lighting up the keyboard. We'll try a couple other options. All right, now, so what I did now is I flip-flopped the mouse and keyboard in the box itself instead of the other way. Escape, page up. Okay, try another option. And I did another flip-flop of the mouse and keyboard and the USB power supply. So a little different thing we're trying now. All right, escape, page up. Here we go, trying again. Okay. All right, so now we're trying a new keyboard and doing it in a different permutation. Who knows, right? We'll see what happens. Escape, page up. All right. Interesting. There we go. That's left. That's right. That's up or down. Yeah. This always has the reverse directions. So we got the arrow keys working now, but no mouse compatibility. So, I'm gonna try a USB. So we're making a little bit of headway here. Left, right, up, or down, up, yeah. That's the way it should work. All right, progress. Okay, trying again. Escape page up. New method. I'll tell you about it later if it works. We'll see. Now, interestingly, this time we got a blinking and when it first started on that. That's never lit up before, so interesting. I tried to put the USB hub in here, but I'm using these PS/2 keyboard and mice. And look, we got full keyboard compatibility now. And now I have to, and the space bar is actually firing the gun. So we did get enough power in there. So now I think we're going to trade out the Belkin for a couple other mice trackballs and see if maybe one of them might work. All right, so we just traded out the trackball. I think we found a keyboard that's actually compatible, and it does have the lights, but it is showing these two lights on. And I know with the other adapters that are for mice and keyboards, when those two lights show up, it's properly set up for the keyboard to work. And it's just a matter of getting that mouse or trackball to work. So we're trying the Logitech. This is called the TrackMan Vista. Here we go. Yeah, this is, now we're only getting, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's kind of going the wrong directions. Yeah, wrong directions. Strange. The right goes left. Left doesn't do anything. That fires. And that does correctly, but I can't seem to go right. So what we did before did seem to work better with the Belkin. So now we have a laser mouse. It is lighting up, so I don't know if it'll work. Here we go. Still not going right. It goes up and down properly, but not left or right. Oh, there, spacebar does left, but no fire button. Yeah, okay. Oh, there's my fire. It's on T. Go left there. I can't go right. I don't think. No right. Yeah, this is a no-go. Worked better with that Belkin. Okay, so now that we know that we're kind of on the right track with the Belkin, at least the keyboard was, properly working with up, down, left, and right, and the space bar being for fire. So the Belkin and this compact keyboard seemed to be a good combination. The other keyboards weren't even lighting up. This one actually has the two lights that indicates, hey, it's going to work. So a thought came to me to look in the manual. And the manual actually states that if you press the escape key, it's followed by page up and not pressing them at the same time, okay? And the way I figured that out was I looked at a part of the manual that was talking about setting the dead zone, or I'm sorry, setting the mouse speed. It says press escape to change into programming mode and then press 0 to 9. and 9 would be the largest dead zone, and 0 is the smallest dead zone. I think we would want the smallest dead zone, not a large one, in order to use the mouse properly. So why don't we try that? I'm going to go ahead and first set it into, make sure it's set into the left stick mode, and now we're going to set the dead zone by pressing escape and 0. Okay, so we have no dead zone. We'll see if the game works better now, or if the controller works better now. All right, so that didn't have an effect. Now I can, look at that, I'm firing with the Belkin. I can also fire with the keyboard. Nice, huh? Left, right, up, down. Yeah, everything works the way it's supposed to in this game. All right, so yeah, very interesting. So at this point, I'm thinking maybe we ought to try messing with that. Not the mouse, yeah, the mouse speed. No, we already messed with the mouse speed. We want to try, no, we messed with the dead zone. Now we're going to mess with the mouse speed. Press escape and then Alt 1 through 9. We want the highest mouse speed. Okay. Still nothing. Interesting. All right, I'm going to try a mouse next. All right, so this is just an old school mouse with the ball inside, not a laser mouse. I'm going to unplug the Belkin. We're doing some hot swapping here. I think we're going to be okay. I've done this with the other adapters before, and I don't like doing it, but hey, let's just try. Okay, so we're going to restart the game. Yep, okay. And the mouse is definitely not doing even firing. No firing. Okay, let's try a different mouse instead. I'm going to turn it off and we'll reset up with a different mouse. Okay, so now we have a very peculiar, very shiny silver mouse made in China. It says PS2 wheel mouse, IBM PC compatible. All right, and it's got a PC ID number on it. Here we go. Once again, escape, let go, page up. All right. And I probably will go ahead and just set the dead zone. I'm trying to remember here. Okay, dead zone. Escape and 0 to 9. So escape, 0. And then mouse speed is escape and Alt 1 through 9. We want fast speed. I'll press 9. Oops, Alt plus 1 through 9. Escape, Alt 9. That's where I actually combine them. Okay, so we'll try that. Yeah, moving it. It still works fine with the keyboard. And my buttons on the mouse don't work. Okay. So the Belkin was the only one we could get even a remote press a button and fire with. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm probably going to head off to bed. We'll try this later. All right. Well, all right. Well, it's been a few days since I was in here running these experiments and trying all this out. And, you know, this morning I went into my dining room and I looked into this room and I saw the camera stand and I saw all these items on this table, and I just looked at it and I thought to myself, yeah, that's probably just never going to work. So why don't we just tear it down? So I was coming in here, I was about ready to grab the camera stand, and something just kind of struck me, and it was just a thought, and it was having to do with a controller. It's really a pointing device from early 90s days of PC, and I own that. I didn't try it the other day, and I thought, well, maybe I should go grab that and see if it works. And it's got a serial connector for a really old school PC, but when it was manufactured, they packaged in a little adapter that converts serial to PS/2, which of course would make it maybe compatible with some of this stuff. So I grabbed it, I went and found it. It's called the Pro Point. Okay, the Pro Point has the regular mouse buttons. It also has this little directional pad, and it's got analog properties to it. So it's like for use on something like PowerPoint, and you know, it helps you direct a cursor around a screen in an analog fashion like a mouse would do. Anyway, so yeah, I plugged it all in, and I made sure this USB hub was connected to the top USB port on the SpeedLink adapter, and you know, I got it all plugged in, and I pressed escape, and I pressed page up, and lo and behold, picked it up, and it did, you know, it fires just like the Belkin trackball, the TrackMaster, but that's it. It doesn't enable any activity on the screen with the cursor moving around. And so, you know, at that point I was like, well, I guess that was pretty much what we expected. Then again, another unique thought popped into my head, and it was kind of like, where's that coming from? So it was, you know, a thought that has to do with something I was doing and when I was running experiments on the Max shooter for PlayStation 2. This is a while back when I was, you know, running those experiments to see if I could get this compatible and get those mouse and trackballs working with the Max shooter. So, you know, back a few months ago when I was doing this, I would often press escape and insert, okay, to swap, move, and look. And you got to do that to make sure that you get compatibility with the emulator SmartJoy adapter, because it recognizes the left thumbstick as your activity producer, not your right thumbstick. So anyways, I would always press escape and insert. Now on this SpeedLink, this device doesn't involve any escape insert presses, but escape and page up to do the same action. And you know, I was like, let's take a look in the instruction manual of the new, you know, the SpeedLink adapter that I have here, and see if that instruction manual describes any activity that would be done with the escape insert. So I looked through the manual, didn't say a thing. I thought, well, why even try? Why even bother? And I thought, well, maybe it'll just produce some activity here. So I pressed escape and insert. And when I did that, I pressed the start, but look at that. Oh my goodness. So now this thing is extremely sensitive, okay? I don't think you could have any luck shooting these TIE fighters with this. Well, it's so sensitive. So, you know, again, I thought to myself, maybe I should try the trackball and see if, you know, I could get the same results with maybe better activity. But something I was noticing was this. You press, you know, to go down with the cursor. When you've gone down with this item, it stays down, it stays put. It's not exactly real stable, but yeah, I mean, if you really concentrate, you might be able to use two hands on this to get some sort of positive results. It's hard though. Anyways, so I'm going to turn it off, and we're going to plug in the Belkin TrackMaster instead of the pointer. Okay, so now the Belkin's set up to be our controller. Turn it back on. Okay, and escape, page up, and escape, insert. Now it's interesting, when you press the escape page up, this blinks on and then blinks out. But when you do escape and insert, it stays on. It's almost like indicating, hey, your analog controller for your PS1 or 2 is now in analog mode. I kind of wonder if that's what's going on here. But anyway, start up the game. Oh yeah. I think we've got to put this in the lower USB plug for this trackball. So yeah, if it's not working for you, you have to put it in the other USB port of the hub, or of the SpeedLink, my bad. All right, so now escape page up, and now we'll do the escape insert. Now the light's on, and we're getting analog control. It's definitely touchy. I mean, this is not going to be possible. And one thing I'm noticing now, unlike the little pointer device, when you push to make the cursor go down and then hold it in that position, it goes right back up. So I'm like wanting it to stay down here, but as soon as I stop moving the trackball, it zips back up. And that's just the way the speed link is interpreting analog data and sending signals to your system. It's not designed to work a trackball in a normal trackball fashion. You know, if you keep moving, then maybe you get some semblance of decent, no, it's not even decent control. It's just way too sensitive and also always recentering. So now there are some games though that might be really compatible with this whole recentering idea. It's not going to be Star Wars Arcade, it's not going to be Missile Command, probably won't be Kaboom or Super Breakout for that matter. But there are some games that might work very, very well with this whole concept. So let's take a look at those. All right, well, we got Atari 5200 River Raid up on the screen here. You know, when I got my first game system, the Atari 2600, my first game that I really wanted was River Raid. Although the system did come with combat, but this is the one I really wanted. This is the 5200 version. It looks a little snazzier and plays real nice. So basically I'm going to be playing this with a mouse. Okay, this is a Microsoft Comfort Optical Mouse 3000. This has been the best of all the mice that I've tried, and I did try a number of them. None of the ball mice have worked. You know, those PS/2 connector mice just don't tend to work. But I did find one PS/2 connector mouse that did sort of work. This one's called the Mi Optical Mouse, and it's just got the MI for the brand name Mi. When I plug this in, I find that there's some delay on the fire button, which isn't what you want. I also found that it's a little jittery and really pulls to the right. So that's, I mean, all that is kind of a negative. So with this particular mouse, you're not going to get fantastic control, and I do suspect you're going to get the same issue with many of these PS/2 mice. But this Microsoft mouse is actually a USB controller, and it's got a connector that I've plugged adapter to. It's a USB to PS/2 adapter. It does seem to be compatible with that. So yeah, let's go ahead and show a little bit of the gameplay of River Raid using the mouse. Now you have to slow down by backing it away. And it does still go to the right, so you got to fight it a little bit on that going to the right thing. Get a refuel here. So it's a little bit testy. I will say it this way. It's kind of like it doesn't quite have enough of a dead zone in the center. So you're on a knife edge of going either left or right, and you know, you'll fall right if you're not kind of pushing a little bit left. So that does, it's maybe not perfect when it comes to controlling, but it is an interesting way to control your game. Something that no other 5200 player has actually done apart from an emulator. All right, on to the next game. Going to give Dreadnought Factor a try with a Microsoft mouse. Tends to want to go up often. So when I press up, full speed, but then it stops. E is the bombs, by the way. Tough game. So the mouse tends to want to, when you just barely move up, it goes up really fast. So that's the issue with that. I don't think that's going to work too well. All right, we're going to give Centipede a try. Again, we're using the Microsoft mouse. Here we go. Oh boy, that's fast. To be expected. And let's go into the right. Okay, that's a no. Alright, we're going to make an attempt to play Space Dungeon with the Wicco command control and also the Belkin trackball. We'll see how it goes. This is, again, the Track Master. Ah, it got me backed into a corner. All right. Trying to go up, down. You go side to side. Yeah, angles pretty well. Yeah, you can do up, but man, it's tough. Pretty tough. All right, let's try some Activision Beam Rider. I did try the Microsoft mouse I've been using and had no luck with any kind of decent control. I also tried that Me mouse. Again, maybe a little better than the Microsoft. At least it moved left and right. This is a game that does require moving left and right. So I unplugged that and I decided to plug my ball mouse in. This is not an optical mouse. It's called the HP. And let's see here. I'll put the model number in the description so that you'll know what HP mouse this is. It does work better than the optical mice on this particular game for some reason, although it has not worked in some other games I have. Alright, we're going to try beam writer with the fidget spinner mouse. This is a ball mouse. I'm not going to be able to hold it like this to do the spinning. I'm going to actually have to hold it this way and click on the button while pressing up, and hopefully the ball catches up against the little spinning disc that I got here. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, watch my Wired Up Retro episode, a couple episodes back from, I think it was around September when I made that video, or maybe it was August. Check it out. Here we go. It's going pretty well right now. I've played this game before with this, and sometimes if you don't have that disc spinning right up against the ball right, it will be pretty inaccurate, but I think we're getting pretty good accuracy at the moment. Trying anyway. It may not look like I'm doing that well, but I think this is probably as good as it gets with the way this adapter is working, the speed link is working with it. Get out of there. Okay, good. See? A little accuracy. Not fantastic, but getting it to stop on a dime is not ideal. All right. Game over. All right. So you get the idea. You know, we're using a speed link adapter that's meant for a PlayStation 2 on a 5200. Sometimes accuracy takes a bit of a hit, but it is definitely unique to use things like spinners, mice, and, well, we were hoping trackballs, but yeah, for the mice, some of the mice actually work. Don't know why it was only working on certain games like this and not others, but you know, at least we got it working a little bit, and it was actually on this game far, far better than the Optical mice. All right, well, that about wraps up our episode of Wired Up Retro. I was glad to present this new discovery to you. I have managed to get a couple of unique kinds of controllers to work on an actual Atari 5200. We've delved into territory today that has never been delved into by mankind ever before. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. You know, we did, manage to get some mice working. Even a ball mouse worked on one game, and some of the others were being played with laser mice, such as on River Raid. Too bad the trackball, not going to work, but if you just get your official Atari 5200 trackball, you're going to have a wonderful experience on quite a number of games. Also, you can expect some good results, maybe not perfect, with the fidget spinner mod using these the Speed Link and the emulator Smart Joy adapter. I may be wanting to try this out on a game I just ordered from Atari Age called Tempest. And if it's working pretty well, I'll show it in our next episode. In fact, in our next episode, I am going to show you a couple other unique PC controllers for the Atari 5200 using the PC to 5200 controller adapter, just for the fun of it. So stay tuned for our future episodes, and make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll be seeing you soon. All right, take care.